will happen correctly. Even if you don't trust any single computer on the network, overall you trust the network as a whole because it's ABFT. So that's what ABFT is. And the A part means it's even hard for certain types of attacks that maybe other ledgers aren't resilient to. So the ABFT builds trust at the bottom layer. And then we're well governed. We have the best governance. You've talked about that from the very beginning. We've been doing that. And so the good governance, the decentralized governance, is more decentralized than anyone else because it is known and transparent. And that's what builds the trust. You know who the governors are. And no one person could go fire all those governors. I couldn't just go fire all the governors and put in a new board or a new group of them. I have no control. No one does. That's the point of building the decentralized trust. And so the governance that we have builds this kind of trust. And then, given this foundation, all the work that you all are doing is showing people that we can bring trust into the outside world. And this is what society right now is looking for. We have AI is an enormous problem and an enormous potential. I'm very, very excited about the future of AI. That's my background, actually. But the dangers are equally bad, and people are wondering, can we trust this AI? And the answer is, well, you can only trust this AI if you know what data it was trained on, and you know it was actually trained on that data, and you know what people have looked at that data and certified it, and so on. And so we're going to hear talks today about that, of how we in Hedera are bringing trust to the world of AI. And we can bring trust to other worlds as well. We can talk about key management. And it's not just Hedera, it's the whole industry now, working with other blockchains to bring DREC, decentralized recovery, to bring trust there. I was just talking to someone today about how the industry as a whole needs better user interfaces so that people can't be tricked into signing things they shouldn't sign, we saw this week. Trust, again, is the foundation. And so I think Hedera's community here is building trust in ways that we just don't see other places. And this is our purpose, is to build trust. And I mentioned one of those ways is DREC, decentralized recovery. We have to have this. In every area of our life, we have safety nets. If you lose your password to your bank account, I guarantee you can get access to your money someday. Maybe you go through the recovery process. Worst case, you walk into the bank and have to do something. Maybe you even have to go to the court system. But you will eventually get back to your money. If you lock yourself out of your car, there are locksmiths that can come get you in. If you lock yourself out of your house, worst case, you can put a brick through the window and get back in. But there is always some kind of safety net. And now, as we bring the Web3 world, this DLT world, out to the real world, the rest of the planet, they're expecting to have a safety net. And I get emails that say, hey, I lost my 24 words. Could you please generate another 24 for me so I can get my stuff? Yeah, about that. See, this is the problem. What we're doing is different from every other part of their life. And so when they lose something, they just assume, well, of course, we'll use the safety net. That has to be there. No, it doesn't have to be there. Unless we do the effort, there won't be a safety net. And people lose enormous amounts just because they forgot their password or they lost their mnemonics or whatever. So DREC is bigger than Hedera. This is across our industry. We have got to make it easy for you to back up your keys and your passwords and passkey information and identity information. Anything you have that is secret. Your grandmother's recipe for chocolate chip cookies. If you want to keep that secret, we can make it help you keep it secret. And the idea is that you have it secret, but then you share it with helpers, pieces of it with the helpers, and that if you ever lose your secret, half of them can come together and help you recover it. That's the idea. We have a few little wrinkles that are incredibly important, one of which is that your device needs to go talk to their devices every day and say, hey, do you still have that piece of a secret that I gave you? If they lose it, it's no big deal. I'll just go get another helper. I'll get them to I'll give it to them again. But if I didn't know they lost it, then slowly all my helpers, all my friends and family or whoever might lose what I'm giving them, and then when I finally need it, I wouldn't have it. So other people have talked about systems like this, but this one is important in that it is recoverable because you're checking every single day. Hey, your phone is for you, or your laptop is for you. You're not doing it. In addition to that, we want to make sure that we're using good cryptography and being post-quantum, so we have all of that we're doing. And we're just making it easy to use, and it's being built into ledgers. It's being built into banks and credit unions. It's being built into wallets that are managing your accounts. and it can just be useful across the world. This is what we need. This is what we need for the other 7-point-something billion people on the planet to be able to trust what we're doing, is we have to make them have backups. And so we will hear from some of the people involved in that sort of thing today, and I even have a fireside talk, and we'll talk more about that. So this is what we're dealing with trust. This is what Hedera is all about, and this is what you are all about. And I'll reiterate it again. The magic is not in the bottom layer. It is not in the governance. The magic is in what you are building on it and the way you are working together to make something that the rest of the planet can trust. That's what we're doing. Mance.
Okay, so back in 2017, when we were first hiring the initial employees of Hedera, before we talked about Hedera as being Hedera, employee number 4 was my general counsel, Natalie Furman. And one of the reasons that we hired so early that position is because we knew that we wanted to engage the regulators in DC, and we had a goal of being the poster child, quote, quote, for how to be a crypto project in the United States and go from being definitionally centralized with just me and Leemon to start to being a decentralized project that is regulatory compliant. We took that step of being based in the United States against a lot of advice. You know, most projects like Hedera, most layer 1 projects back then, or crypto projects generally back then, were being off-sourced.